Honey, bonjour, kwekwe, tanzi, scano. Hello, it's Catherine and Brian at Moonstarlodge, and I gave last week's dates all wrong, so we're going to try again, and it's the, what is it? The 18th to the 24th. So during this week, we move out of Leo into Virgo, and so that's happening. We have no other kinds of eclipses or full or new moons yet until the end of the week, when we move into the 9th moon cycle, which becomes setting sun woman. I'm all aflutter with the energies of the day that we're filming this on, which is the Lionsgate portal. So we've seen the decks that are being used. That was at the beginning of last week's video, and if you haven't seen that one, it's a great prelude, because I find, as I've mentioned before, doing 2 weeks at a time with the same decks, not necessarily in the same orientation, but the energy that develops is a huge gestalt, and it's very helpful seeing the bigger picture. Since this is a collective reading, it's the bigger picture that we all want, and we all want to move with energies in the way of right relationship. So you can have a look. I always post a picture of the decks used and the reading layout, so you can compare last week's to this week's. So we're still using landscape-based tarots for the most part, although there is a tarot reflecting expanded major arcana for the moon, and some of the ancestor decks, of course, and so it's a really good blend. I was a little taken aback at the request by Spirit to work with landscapes, the big open spaces. But last week's was an amazing reading, and I hope we can get some more information about the energies moving through this week. So without further ado, Brian, let's go to the cards. This is the Mindscapes Tarot, and one each of most of the other decks that are involved. So we start with the Page of Wands. Last week we had the King, who in his maturity and capacity to bring the spirit and passion into the community. This is more personal in that we are coming from the place of the Page of Wands, who is doing their best to lead us to greater heights, but with the enthusiasm of a young person just learning the ropes. Being open and curious. The pages are about tackling things that we've not ever tackled before. So once you get of a certain age, you're bringing a maturity and wisdom into situations that repeat themselves. But for the energy of this, it's seeing something new with new, fresh eyes, or seeing something as if it's new for the first time. So the energies here are about where we bring the energy of Spirit into this week ahead as we transition from Leo into Virgo. We have the clarifier here of the Six of Pentacles, or Six of Coins. So that's a give and take, being generous to others, and the reciprocity of receiving from others. It's a flow, no stagnancy here. So this says that this Page of Wands, or in this case branches energy, is very much about reciprocating and being raised vibrationally by the acts of giving and receiving. We move to the Eight of Spires. That's, in this deck, the Eight of Swords. Something to be wary of is getting ourselves all wound up in fears and concerns, believing we are trapped when in fact we are so not trapped. It's because we're not seeing the bigger picture. Last week's reading had a number of birds and the clarity that they have from going to great heights, being up in the higher vibing elements of the universe and being able to see the big picture. We are being warned here to do likewise. It's clarified by the self. This is a very beautiful card from the expanded Major Arcana by Rachel Jean. And the self is the embodiment of who we are when we're dancing in tune with our birth sign. So for me, I'm Pisces Sun and Pisces Moon. I need to bring my Pisces gifts into the new moon energy, dancing into the Virgo time. So when we are at home and at peace with who we are, this is an expanded self. So we can't expand. It's remembering to be expanded so we don't fall victim to unnecessary fear and setback. We are asked to embody strength. In this deck, this is the number 8 card. But it's also, if you think of the Thoth meaning, it's lust for life. It's not about the kind of strength that's meant to overpower something or some situation. It's about bringing that kind of energy in a mature way that the Page of Wands has. And this strength to not surrender to monkey mind fears is clarified by the Three of Cups, which is, in the old way of thinking of the Three of Cups, the historic way, it's about the couple that appear together as the two with maturing and expanding love. But that couple can also represent both sides of self. So we have an animus and an anima, the yin to the yang. So it's a maturing respect to our emotional growth. It's maturity. It is lovingness, and it's connecting with other people in a joyful way, in a loving, like-minded way. So that's going to help as we move forward to the Catacombs. The Catacombs is an extra major arcana card in this particular deck, and it relates to history, legacy, rites of passage, transforming, knowing that we've connected with our ancestors way back and what we're moving forward to. So it's beautifully clarified here by the Metamorphosis card. We are bringing our lessons from the past and the gifts and the strength of our ancestors and going through a metamorphosis. That's this midweek card. I don't, by the by, I don't say this is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. That doesn't work that way. Time cycles back on itself. It moves forward. It just needs to touch on a number of things. The next card is the Seven of Tides, which is the Seven of Cups. So we're going to be looking at a number of different options as we start here. There are options, in not directly stated, but we're looking at options for growth and use of spirit here. We're looking at what tools we have and what options come up. And that moon is in the background there, and this card was in last week's reading. So we need to be prepared for that. It's clarified by the Headwater card, and that's energy and the vivaciousness similar to the idea of this page. It's wanting to go and get her done and have an adventure. So our choices lead us. We should be thinking with joyfulness and not fear. So none of this Eight of Cups type energy. The Seven of Swords. pops in. So we have the 7 of Cups and the 7 of Swords. 7 of Swords is about holding one's cards close to one's chest, is one of the many meanings of the 7 of Cards. It's about stealth. It's about taking what you need and leaving the rest. But basically, lone wolf. It can be directly related to imposter syndrome. Somebody who's trying to move forward and doesn't think that they can because of a lack of skills, that they're not really, shouldn't be presenting themselves as who they are. And that's not a good use of the energy of this card, if I can put it that way. We need to just take on the notion that we are protecting ourselves and protecting our knowledge and protecting our journey, because there are people out there who could shoot us down, stomp on our dreams and slow the process. So we can't be afraid within ourselves here, and we shouldn't be afraid of others. If we're careful who we share with, this is good. It's clarified by the Vertigo card here in a pile of keys. Whatever you choose will be correct. And this, I think, clarifies both of these cards. With all the choices there, with what you do and how you proceed to protect yourself, you're going to make the correct choice. We are all, most of us, going to make the correct choice, since this is a collective reading. And that's the wisdom. That's the wisdom that's been spoken of, not only in this week's reading, but last week's reading. The week ends with Justice. Justice appeared in last week's reading as well. Different deck, but there is Justice. So we are moving from Leo into Virgo, but then moving into Libra, which is about justice. It's clarified by another 7, the 7 of Wands. So the 7 of Wands is protecting something, taking the higher ground, having the higher ground to protect something we've been working hard at. So that's really, this is the working week. Last week was all the what we can expect. This is putting feet on the floor and boots on and making it happen. Okay, you can flip the camera, Brian. So this is kind of the reality check of last week's reading, in the sense that it's expanding on the fact that it's all not sugar, light, and lollipops. There's some work to do and some things to let go of as we move into the 9th setting sun, the month of the grandmother of the setting sun woman. So that's an important new moon, new beginnings, new clarity, new creativity, lots of energy, lots of spiritual energy, lots of emotional, lots of intellectual energy. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. So Brian and I wish you the very best, and we thank you for all your support, your cares, the messages you send. When you comment on a video, it just sends Google into their happy dance place. That's wonderful. Even if you don't like something and you call me out on on things, they really respect when people are interacting. We so appreciate the donations through PayPal or e-transfer or the coffee link. It's all there. If you hit on the More button by the title of the video at any time, you can read the decks being used and how to get a hold of us. So bright blessings as we move into fall, and aho, peace.